Ladies and gentlemen, this is Internet Personality Vangelus, and I'm feeling pretty. Would you like to feel pretty too? Then let's make up! And continue Figuarts Week with Kamen Rider Drake. The Dragonfly Rider of Kabuto was one of the final releases to finish off the main Kabuto lineup in SHFiguarts, and because of that, he doesn't suffer from any kind of gammy leg problems, which really helps out a lot. He's also got all the excellent detail you've come to expect from SHFiguarts, and something that kind of surprised me was they even did the compound effect on his rather unique pair of optic lenses. So, you gotta give him credit where credit's due. It looks very gorgeous. His asymmetrical upper body design has also been replicated here, and I'm happy they did it. I mean, I didn't expect them to cop out on any of this, but, you know, he had to have new shoulder pads done, completely new arm done. His additional hands actually have to mirror the different knuckle details, and the big dragonfly wing across the chest. Kind of turns out, but I'm not sure if this connector bar here is show accurate or not, and if it is, I kind of wish they took some artistic liberties, because that thing gets in the way. From the waist down, he's a Kabuto body. Some other people, like myself, never really noticed how alike the Kabuto suits were until these toys started to come out. At least I like to think there were some more people who were surprised by it. It's hard to be alone. As for accessory count, aside from the Drake Zector, he comes with just a couple of extra hands. Now, to their credit, as I said, you know, the hands have different knuckle designs, and you get splayed hands, fist hands, and holding things hands. The thing is, the fists, to be honest, I could have done without them. I've never really thought of Drake as a dude who punches anyone. The splayed open hands and the holding things hands, though, they definitely get the job done in every nice kind of way. Problem is, that is actually everything. That's everything you get with this guy. And that really blows for one reason. The Zector. It comes in the normal mode, as you can see here. The problem is, you can't close these wings up for Rider shooting. And I think that's kind of a cop-out. You could have just had one piece of plastic to swap out for these wings. And it really kind of sucks that this thing kind of fell short, because that is a case where this guy has done something that I don't like in Figuarts, which is when it's not so much the lack of accessories, it's the lack of an accessory that really was necessary. And there's one other big problem. Now, while this shoulder has generally its full range of motion up to a certain point, because, you know, the shoulder pad will bump it in a way, and unfortunately Drake's shoulder pads are a little bit chintzy. They prefer to pop off before they move up, and that does make his posing a bit limited. This arm, it's okay. This arm, though, yeah, that actually popped up while I was showing you the Zector. The problem is, whenever this thing pops off, the only way to really get it back on easily is to maneuver his shoulder around so this little hinge thing here is vaguely accessible, and then try to peg this really thin shoulder pad back in place without it falling off again. Because the thing is, this shoulder pad, ladies and gentlemen, is the weakness of the toy. The lack of those key accessories, and in fact, no, the lack of the key accessory, you know, that's maybe a little bit passable, but this guy, you can move his shoulder up maybe that high. It just popped off again. I've messed with this for a while. I cannot see any way to rectify this problem, because this shoulder pad, basically, you can move it up until you feel the slightest bit of resistance, and then, boom, it's off. So the posability of his right arm here has been rather gregariously cacked, and it's for that reason that Drake has actually, unfortunately, become one of the weakest Figuarts releases, almost magnified by how he's one of the newer Figuarts, where you kind of think that these problems wouldn't occur anymore. Older Figuarts, you know, from 2008, early 2009, I can deal with it, but this guy's a late 2009 toy. Just, it's really a pain, because not so much that this pops off, that it pops off and it's so hard to plug it back in place. So, you know, your poses are just so sadly limited on this guy in that arm. I mean, you can move the rest of his body around, and he is, you know, due to not having gammy legs, you can do a lot of posing with this guy, and it's pretty cool. But with Figuarts, I am a lot pickier. mostly because, you know, these are expensive action figures, and there's a certain degree of quality I've kind of come to expect from SHFiguarts, and Drake really falls short. Between the frankly incomplete accessory count for the Zector pistol gun thing here, and the more or less inexcusable design of his pop-offable shoulder pad on the right arm, it's unfortunately this guy I wouldn't recommend unless you really love Drake. And this is the thing, a lot of people don't like Drake. They either don't like the character or they don't like the design. This figure art has very little going for it. I think that a large number of the people who bought this figure did so to complete the Kabuto lineup, and that's... Unfortunately, it's a shame, but it really isn't surprising. And it's disappointing more than anything else, because I was hoping that, you know, given how malign this guy can be, they wouldn't so much knock it out of the park as, you know, get an average score and at least let you do Rider shooting. You can't even do this guy's final maneuver, and it's sad. It just doesn't work. On the bright side, with the Neo-Zect Troopers coming out soon, you can replicate the Neo-Zect army, quote-unquote, of Godspeed Love, and that's kind of a cool thing. But Drake is definitely one of the weakest Figuarts. I dare say, actually, if not one of the weakest, then the weakest, because, you know, Agito ground form is definitely down there. And again, I gotta say, these are still very nice toys. They are very well done, great paint, great sculpting, great attention to detail on the body. With Figuarts, though, where things often fall apart is the accessory count when a Figuart release is starting to go badly. And this guy, the accessories made me squint, and then that shoulder just made me grit my teeth. So I gotta say, Drake is not highly recommended. I mean, if you're gonna buy Drake, you'd be buying a Figuarts Drake regardless of a lot of the problems if you're already ready to do that. But if you're somehow on the fence about Drake, I can tell you he's at best adequate, and at worst, severely disappointing. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and today's Rider Figuarts Week content is at an end. Tune in tomorrow for more, and I can assure you, it's gonna be better than Drake.
Be sure to dispose of it cleanly.
No problem, you dig? I clean up a lot bigger messes than this when I deal with a woman that don't understand my needs.
That was quite a mannequin.
Are you sure it'll cover our plan? Of course it will. The veneer of obedience will hide our movements, cover our tracks, leave him unaware.
For real? Shiz. What we're doing, it could get, conspicuous. You got more guts than me, boy. But I gotta say, I respect that.
You sure this is gonna work? I don't want him to find out. All will go according to plan. Nothing can stand in our way when our time has come.